I'm with Ole Espen Rakkestad from Norway, and as part of our Higher Education and Research Standing Committee, Ole represents ETUCE in the Bologna Process Working Group about qualification frameworks, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, qualification frameworks are some of the most emblematic parts of the Bologna process if we think about the bachelor, master's, PhD, the cycles. What is it that is being discussed nowadays in Bologna when it comes to qualification frameworks?
Well, I must say that this group that I'm a member of is of a very technical character because it has to do with the implementation. That is, it's mostly about the countries that are not yet there. They have not fully implemented either their qualification frameworks or the ECTS, European Credit Transfer System. So it's of a very technical character, and both has to do with the qualification frameworks for European higher education area, but also the qualification framework for the European qualification framework, the lifelong learning framework. So those are the basic things.
So are you still designing sort of new frameworks and new rules, or is it about kind of watching countries and seeing what's happening?
No, it's about the nations that there's two processes. It's the so-called self-certification where all the countries' national qualification frameworks are certified according to the rules for the European higher education area. And then there's what's called referencing, which is a somewhat different process where they put their national qualification frameworks according to the rules for the European qualification framework. So there's two processes, and some nations are not there yet, so they get some peer help from other countries to finish the process, so to speak.
Now, this is, as you say, it is a very technical process, but these frameworks, they do have real impact in higher education across Europe, don't they? What does that look like in the daily work of an academic or a researcher at these qualification frameworks?
It has to do with the course planning, for instance, because this has to do with learning outcomes. How the course is set up has to be set up in a certain way, where all the learning outcomes of a certain course is put down. So that would be like the daily issue, and of course it all has to do with transparency and doing it the same way in many countries and so on. So the system is then in the end basically the same in all countries that are members.
And then zooming out a little bit, so not just about the working group on qualification frameworks, about the Bologna process in general. We're heading towards this big ministerial meeting in Rome in June. What's your big wish that comes out of that ministerial meeting? It'll set the direction for the next couple of years. What would be your big wish for the Bologna process?
I wish that the communique would state very clearly the public responsibility for funding of higher education, which is very closely linked to academic freedom. That and also collegial governance of institutions, institutional autonomy and collegial governance. That's central issues. And it seems at the moment it's going in the right direction when it comes to the drafting texts of the communique. So I do hope that it will stay in the communique all the way through.
Cool. Thank you very much, Ole.